Hello everyone, and welcome to our last, most likely second to last session of City of Mist. We've effectively spoken with everyone that we need to, gone everywhere that we need to go, and we have indeed entered the endgame. Alrighty, the group has all gotten together and such. Literally the last thing we did was face off against, in a nice way I guess, a honorable duel against B, in which she revealed her newly acquired powers to your group, effectively let you know where Reginald is, how to actually get there, and effectively, it's going to happen in a few days. She believes things will have settled more thoroughly by then. So if there's anything you guys want to do, effectively before you rush the boss's base, you are more than welcome to do so. Anyone you want to talk to, anything you want to like research or look into, totally up to you.
I mean, I think I'm good. I'm ready to get to it.
All right, time to reveal that Bacon's actually the final big bad. Let's do this. I mean, what?
I love a good bacon, egg, and cheese.
Hey, you were against that.
Well, that's Megan saying that, not Moira.
I mean, as long as I don't know my food before I eat it, I'm fine. If it has a name, it's a pet. Sorry. Even if it's a mean name, still a pet.
Well, because if it's a mean name, bacon's kind of funny.
It is kind of funny.
Like to you, your heart knows that bacon is not meant for a sandwich. Not this bacon, anyway.
I love bacon.
You gonna eat bacon?
I am automatically obligated to love any animal named bacon.
I'm getting some mixed signals from you right now.
I love the food bacon, so I have to love the animal.
Fair.
I'm getting some mixed signals.
Just don't love it with your teeth.
Love it a little less.
Alrighty. Well, if that is the case, then I assume we are contacting George, as he wanted in on this as well.
Yep. I will be morally... No.
Yeah, duh.
Alrighty.
I love that guy. He's real cool.
We do just that. B lets you guys know to meet her near the industrial area, and she will guide you to where she believes the tower is. You let Mr. Kim know, the general area as well, and he shall also be here to assist. And I guess to help with your theory, Roxanne, yes, this is indeed the fifth tower. You were looking for it. The reason you could not find it is what I mentioned before. It was hidden in a weird like quantum state. It was both there and not there at the same time. If you're like actively searching for it, it just won't be found effectively.
I knew it.
Wait. So it disappears if you're actively looking for it?
It doesn't necessarily disappear. B mentioned that there were a few towers over there, and if you just kind of rush in or move in, you'll enter guaranteed the fake one. But if you wait near the one that you know is the real one, and you are patient and, fully look at it, then you'll be allowed entrance. You just need to wait, let's say, a long enough time that most normal people wouldn't just like put their hand on the doorknob and or, the, the swing gate and just sit there. So
yeah, makes sense.
Oh, it wasn't that far from where I was looking either.
No, you did indeed guess this location. It is directly to your group's west.
Well, let's go.
Excellent. So as we head down over there, B and George Game are waiting for your group. They give you a wave as you all head on over.
Wave back.
Yep.
Are y'all ready for this?
Da-da-da.
Okay. None of that now.
You can't say that without starting it.
It's true, actually.
Physically impossible.
Well, I do think Mel's particular inflection meant for that to happen.
You are correct, yes.
Of course. No escaping the brainworms.
Brainworms are wormed.
All right, as you guys head to this location, he waves your group down, you wave back, you head on up to her, and she double checks, counting to make sure everyone is here. George beat, you're all here.
She's doing a head count?
Effectively, yeah. Just to make sure there's no one extra. She nods after she is satisfied with everyone being here, and says, all right then, I assume we're all ready?
Yep.
Yes.
Excellent. As I have not entered this tower myself, I'm not entirely sure how it functions, besides how to, well, access it. I figured assaulting the place would alert Reginald to our, well, plan. So I've been trying to keep a low profile. If you're all ready, though, and she motions to a somewhat dilapidated tower that looks very similar to the ones that we've been to before. We are maybe a quarter of a mile away from like the edge of where town would be, Off in the distance, not really too far from here, there are some construction workers further into the industrial area, but they are working almost intentionally so away from where we are.
Interesting.
It seems this place is avoided just sort of in general, which will help us. We're relatively close to normal folk, but we shouldn't run into them.
All right.
Do we know if Reginald has any powers?
Oh, most assuredly, yes.
Isn't he the one that's been like amping up everybody else's?
Yes.
So whatever his power is, it has something to do with that. Or at least
Okay, I just didn't know if we were ever like alluded to him having powers or not.
Oh, most definitely, yeah. Every time you've spoken with someone, he bequeathed upon them a flame of white, and suddenly they just felt stronger.
Yeah. So I don't know if we know exactly what it is, but we have like a general idea. We know that he has something going on.
Indeed. And as we consider all this and move on in, B moves forward. She places her hand on the entryway to this tower and just sort of waits. Looking back to your group, she says, "If you'd all like to join me, we simply just need to stand here and observe the tower. After a moment or so, things will feel right. It's hard to explain, but you'll feel it. And then we can enter."
All right.
I'll put my hand on the door too.
As you all move forward and copy her, it feels quite silly. Everyone's kind of touching this building. But after about a minute or so of sitting here and focusing on our location and where we want to be, suddenly,
We're manifesting.
effectively, yeah. Y'all know from the outside, when I say dilapidated, the windows are blown out, some of the doors are missing. In general, this building has seen better days. The inside should be very similar to the outside, if I'm being honest. Broken down, debris, rain, not great. But the feeling when you hold onto the doorknob or you're near a door that leads to nothing or an abandoned building is very different from a bustling workplace. There's a warmth behind it. And suddenly, each of you feel somewhat of a warmth emanating from this door. B looks back to your group.
Warmth?
Yeah.
Not like fire demon warmth.
I would say more of a hearth warmth.
Oh, cozy.
Yeah, more cozy.
This has got to be a trick. I don't trust it.
She turns back to your group, nods in agreement, and opens the door. When she does, you are all greeted to the first floor in what seems to be some sort of business. There is no one here, but there are many seats for waiting. There seems to be an unattended little barista corner. There is somewhere for what would be the receptionist waiting up front, also empty. Full lighting, none of the windows are broken, and some of the heat emanates from said building. George lets out a whistle as if to say, "All right, good stuff."
Okay. Keep walking, I guess, right? Is B taking us to a room in particular?
She's got no idea. All she knows is he's for a fact in this building. What we're seeing here is, yeah, probably a clue, one might say, more than a clue.
More than a clue? Is
Yeah.
this like one of those toddler riddles that nobody can figure out?
Probably not, no. Who can say, though?
Can I investigate?
Most definitely, yeah. As we head on in, what are you investigating in particular?
Well, so the place looks empty, right?
Yes.
What kind of building is it? Is it like an apartment building?
No, it looks like a place of business.
Well, you said there's a clue, right?
If you're looking for something in particular, we can...
Like where to get him? Where he is? Not where to get him, but what's the right direction, I guess.
That's a little too vague with where we currently are, but we can see we're on the first floor of a building. There's, of course, a stair set that leads on up. And,
is there a directory?
Yes, there definitely is.
Can I go to the directory?
Sure. You move on over to the directory.
Does this feel like a bit? Oops, shit. Sorry, I just dropped food. Does this feel like his like business establishment or?
Very much so, yeah. You guys feel as if you're waiting either for a doctor or a lawyer or something. This place is quite nice.
Wasn't he a psychologist?
Yes.
Can I send some shadows out searching the area?
Sure, what are you looking for?
Signs of life.
All right. As Moira checks the directory, you can see that each floor is indeed labeled individually. No strange names, no strange spellings. Everything seems to be in order for this type of building that we're in. Roxanne, as your shadows begin to move outward, they go from room to room, seemingly all empty, and you don't find a single sign of life besides our group here standing in the foyer.
This has got to be a trick. I mean, obviously the buildings were on that like time loop, right?
Yes.
And this one is the one that they were like imitating, or
You're not entirely sure. This one basically just popped up.
Is there a floor above us?
Yes, definitely. There's a set of stairs that continue upward.
Can I astral project above us? Pop my head out, be like, "Hello." Not really. I'm not gonna talk, but like, can I like look?
Yeah,
Use my binoculars.
Go through the ceiling, basically.
Yeah.
Yes. As you just kind of scoot your way up, intending to see the floor above you, you astral project upward after leaving your body somewhere safe. And as you ascend to the ceiling and move through it, your group sees Xander shoot up through the floor, back into the first floor with the rest of you.
wait.
So he goes up through the ceiling and pops out by our feet.
Yes.
That's pretty weird. That's not normal.
I would like to attempt to walk up the stairs.
Yeah, me too.
You begin to move up. Do we all go, or just two of you?
Sure.
Alrighty. George and I said Moira. George and B will follow your group as they're looking around as well, trying to find what the hell's going on. And we head up through the stairs. Something unique you notice about the stairs is the first floor was a very open plan design. You can effectively see everything. There are many glass walls and such so that you can see into various rooms. The stairs seem to be segregated from everything else. Concrete walls, concrete ceiling. You can't see upward where you're going to. The stairs curve around and move upward. As you do indeed do this, your group actually comes out a right room that is perfectly similar to the first floor you just exited from. And you see in front of you a stair set that looks exactly like the one that you just went up.
So
And Xander's astral projected body still sitting there where we left it.
If he stayed behind, yes.
all right, well,
So now that you guys
clearly
have,
this is some sort of pocket dimension.
now that we know it's weird, now that we've seen it a bit, if you want to ask questions now or investigate with a particular question, I can answer.
Wow.
You do have your free one.
Are there any dates on anything?
Now, as you begin to look around, the directory made sense. Floor, 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 floor. You can see that there are 5 total floors. Everything else, though, now that you're looking around, the logos, everything, magazines, they look as if a machine printed them out. They look wavy and unsure of themselves. The words kind of flow into each other, not really forming any sentences. They are most assuredly not in any other languages. It's mostly using the English alphabet, but even some of those letters clash.
Is this a memory? Or something like that?
Memory.
So you, of course, all have magical powers. If you want to answer that question, you can most assuredly do that.
Wait. I can answer that question?
Yes, I mean you can see into people, you can see into things. So
Yeah.
You can see inside your heart.
yeah, I mean basically.
I mean, that is kind of what I do.
I think I'm the only one who can't do anything here.
You're honestly useless. So no, I'm just kidding. But
Yeah,
Yeah,
can I try
I
doing
know,
some?
right?
Can I try doing some clairvoyance on some of the items in the room?
Definitely. Do you want to use
wait,
that?
so sorry. You said they went upstairs and they just nothing.
Correct.
Well, we went upstairs and just reappeared the same way that you did with your astral projection. It was like we went upstairs, but we really just stayed in the same room.
So we're in a constant loop. Reginald, you playing with our minds?
It feels like it.
I'm just gonna shake my fist to the ceiling.
So
Show
Moira,
your face, you old man.
do you want to roll investigate, Moira, or do you want to use that free clue?
I'll use a free clue.
Okay. What was the question exactly?
Is it a memory of some kind?
Yes, this very much feels as if you're in a memory and you are 100% in a pocket dimension. Looking around and such, it feels as if there are certain rules here that must be followed in order to continue forward. You figure that just walking up the stairs for some odd reason didn't work. Cheating through the walls definitely did not work. Moving up the floor, just standard walk. You guys felt somewhat of a fuzzy kind of warbling as you moved upward. Xander, yours was, it didn't hurt or harm you, but yours was a little more, we'll say aggressive, to the point where you feel as if you were to keep trying to phase through walls, break walls, etc., It might actually harm you, but basically the first one's on the house, more of a warning of don't do this again.
Can I investigate to see to get a clue towards how to move on to the next level? If there's something in the room that can do that for us?
Yes, definitely.
Or if there's like a scene we need to complete?
Yeah, go ahead and roll that for me.
And you said currently we're just in like a foyer,
Yep.
like basic desk, not much going on.
No, not much. Very basic, no one here.
I guess I can't use any of my investigative journalists. Can I use those things?
You're not talking to anyone, so...
So I'm not going to do that. Damn. Never mind. Good thing I used that free clue already.
Alrighty, as you begin to try to look through things more, and maybe get a bit closer, define precisely what we are trying to do here.
I'm gonna say I am touching items around the room to get a feel for it.
Okay.
It clearly doesn't work, so maybe I should have used that freaking disturbing imagery.
So looking around, this very much does feel like a memory.
I do let everybody else know that, though, so if they want to riff off of that, that's fine.
Of course. And you get a very odd feeling from this. You look in and you begin to see, no, there's most assuredly something else here. It's
Something else?
a presence. But we do know that Reginald and most likely Isabel are also here. There was some sort of charm, glamour that was cast upon this building. Of course, it was, dilapidated on the outside, but perfectly fine on the inside. And as you're looking around, maybe there's something that needs to be fulfilled. Maybe you just need to go up, I don't know, with more gusto. It's difficult to precisely tell, Moira.
Hey, my shadows are pure memory. Well, okay, mostly pure memory. Can I use their familiarity with memory to point us in the right direction?
Well, you have to wait for something bad to happen to me first, Melanie.
Okay.
I failed my roll massively.
No, a 1-1 would be a massive fail.
Okay, sorry. It's still an MC hard move. I do think that's a good idea, though.
So, as you are looking around Moira, you begin to receive visions from the past, from the future. Are these forced upon you? Was this a natural reaction? It's difficult to say. But regardless, you do see Reginald entering this room. You see him effectively checking in at the front desk, although there is no one there. You maybe see a memory of someone there, and he simply, by himself, very confidently heads up to the next floor, and you no longer see him. During this, though, Moira, while he is going through the motions, there is indeed a presence surrounding Reginald. A presence you know very much is not Reginald. And as you peer into this memory, most likely the past, this thing turns, looking directly to you, Moira. All the color and light around you fade as these eyes lock in on you. Its wings spread wide, and it charges you, going for your throat as you hear laughter. You're pulled out of this vision, this reverie, and everything looks just as it was before. Everyone is standing precisely where they were. Roxanne's getting ready to shadow something, and I'm going to have you roll face danger against basically a psychic fear attack. And then Roxanne, if you want to roll investigate, you're more than welcome to.
Ooh, geez. Psychic attack?
Mm-hmm.
I use physical defenses then. Well, I don't really know how to... I've never had to fight somebody against psychic danger. Oh, well. Oh!
There you go. Boxcars, baby. That's all we need. Whatever it is.
I really dodged a bullet there.
Whatever it is, Moira, you steal your mind, and you know this is very much not real. You're able to pull yourself back to the now, facing no harm.
Ooh, that could have been bad, wouldn't it? Well,
Roxanne?
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out if I could use one of my defining event tags.
What are you trying to do?
Well, I'm feeling around the edges for some sort of something that feels right?
Probably.
Can I use mystery media as like a, hey, you should try looking here?
Sure. I will also say, despite rolling a failure, I will still try to give you guys useful information in said failure. So what you saw there, Moira, wasn't me making shit up. That actually did happen in the past.
What attacked Moira?
Oh, some sort of
shadow,
psychic
something. Yeah.
shadow.
Did you tell it to stop?
She thought stop, and it did, fortunately.
I have incredible mental barriers.
Because that's not really nice to do, to attack people.
Really isn't. Roxanne, though, as you begin to look around, Moira, would you have shared this information with the rest of the group?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I probably would have been like, hey, I think this is a memory. And like kind of talk about it and like kind of point out the stuff that I saw, like the weird writing and how it's kind of surreal and how maybe what we
Ooh. Now you're in my realm.
need to do is, go to the next level. But
As your shadows move about, they begin to fall into place. Try to get comfortable here. As you're looking around, Roxanne, you find out from what Moira said, basically, you just need to pretend like you own the place. You need to not really be looking around for clues. You need to just know, I'm going up these stairs to get to the second floor.
that's cool, actually. Yeah, it's a sneaky little trick.
Sure, let's go.
Let's get walking. Everybody believe you own it.
And as you do, your group does indeed ascend to the second floor. This time entirely different, although you do feel the same warbling sensation overcome your body, maybe moving through some sort of magical barrier. This room is different, but the same. It is still well put together, but there is no one here. The layout's entirely different. It looks as if there are various rooms for meeting individuals, all devoid of life and empty. Another stair set just up ahead, but nothing seemingly stopping your progress from going forward.
So what's the next room?
A series of offices, effectively.
But I'm guessing they're all empty.
Yep.
So is there something we have to do in this room in order to keep moving on, or can we just use the same theory?
I'm going to try walking up the stairs.
Yeah, as you move up here, you feel as if nothing's really changed. Your surroundings are different, but that's about it. And as Xander, you ascend, you do not come up through some random stair set. You do indeed arrive at the floor above you. You can no longer feel your friends below
It's all
you, though.
safe.
So you can't.
What?
You shout down. Nothing. They don't hear it.
Never mind.
So wait, he goes up, but we don't see him come back.
Nope, you don't see him come back, nor do you hear him. His footprints
Yeah, I
trail
think-
off, and that's it.
Truthfully, I think that's proof enough, because last time he stuck his head through the floor and
Yes.
so I say we keep walking unless do I get any vibes that there might be something on that floor that we need to look at?
You do not know.
Then I'll just keep going up.
As you do indeed keep going up, the third floor is more of the same. Your group is actually able to very easily move past this one as well, moving up to the fourth floor.
Where are they up the third floor with me?
Yes, and then your group is able to go from the third to the fourth. We do know by the directory that there are 5 total floors here. Now, on the fourth floor, things are indeed a little different. It looks similar to, at least portion of it, looks similar to a waiting room, but much higher quality, as if this is where the VIPs are allowed to dwell. And as you all look around, there is indeed a set of stairs. But to answer your question from before, Moira, things now do indeed feel different for whatever reason. There's an undeniable feeling for all of you that you are 100% being watched. And Moira, this is the same feeling you got moments ago in the memory.
Is it a general sensation, or does it feel like it's coming from a particular part?
It feels as if it's coming from the stairs and above you.
Do I think there's anything on this floor besides the being watched?
On this floor, no, but there's something that very much is trying to stop you from ascending. You can tell. If you were to get closer to these stairs, the feeling would only get stronger.
I'm going to turn to my group. Do they feel it, or am I the only one that notices it because I'm like...
Everyone
sensitive?
feels it, but you feel that it's similar to the feeling on the first floor.
I'm going to tell them, since it seemed like it attacked me, right?
Oh yeah, definitely, 100%.
but it might not necessarily have attacked them.
Correct. They have no idea that happened.
Okay, so I'm going to say something about that. I would definitely be like, I'm pretty sure we're all kind of feeling this presence watching us, but you should be aware that I'm fairly certain it attacked me earlier on the first floor, and we should be careful. I do not think it wants us to be in here.
I mean, that's a given.
Yeah, but you didn't have it attack you, so
I'm sneaky that way.
don't be that bold. We want you to survive.
All right.
Question, Roxanne. If you died, would you become a shadow?
I don't really know.
Okay, well, let's not test it.
Yeah, I have a little brother to take care of.
Okay. I'm going to keep walking up, but I'm definitely like, oh, we should tread lightly.
As you get closer, Moira, you instantly feel that presence that was heightened is elevated even further upon getting closer to the stairs. You know that anyone approaching these stairs and moving upward is basically going to have to face danger just to get up them against effectively a very, very potent fear effect, something that will cast doubt upon you.
I'm going to tell them that then, that's what I feel coming from it, specifically, if they don't already feel that.
It's light.
I ain't afraid of no ghosts.
I cannot tell you.
So that's where the heebie-jeebies are coming from.
Can I tell
Yes.
that these are like actually spirits, or because I can sense like demons in the paranormal?
It's most definitely paranormal, but there are no ghosts.
See, Roxanne, you don't need to be afraid of no ghosts, because it's not a ghost. It's demonic.
I ain't afraid of no demons neither.
I ain't afraid of no demons. Is there anything I can do to like shield myself preemptively?
Yes. So, knowing that this is in front of you, Moira, knowing that you're going to basically have to face danger, each and every one of you, against this effect, you guys can, prior to this, self-buff using Change the Game. Radia could brew something. Roxanne, you can maybe use... I don't know if you can really do anything.
Power of friendship. Thank you very much.
Effectively.
I got the power of the name. Oh, my.
Xander, of course, you have your magics, and Moira, you kind of already have your, not mind control, but you already have your mind magics. So, prior to doing this, you guys may buff each other or use your powers in any way you see fit to help shield your minds against this effect.
Well, I definitely would like to buff myself because I'm sensitive.
Okay?
What if I'm already buff?
You gotta pump that brain up.
Yeah, pump that brain up.
I mean-
what would it be? Change the game?
Yes, so basically, each
If
of
it's
you...
a good one, I could theoretically help somebody else too, right?
Yes, so we can roll in turn. Realistically, Moira... I'd probably say Moira and Radia have the best, chance at rolling high on this. So if the two of you want to roll, I can dole out these pluses, and then we can see where we are from there. Because, of course, if you roll super high, then we can pass a whole bunch out.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
cast a anti-paranormal spell.
Yeah, you could cast something to, like, shield over folk. The three of you have the highest chance at succeeding in this.
Still succeeded.
That's 3 tags, yeah. All right, so since you rolled first, Xander, I'll just call it a P shield. You can give that to 3
Spirit
people.
of light.
Yeah.
P shield.
who do you wanna-
PE.
No, not that.
No?
no,
Okay.
no. Who do you want to give it to, Xander?
Roxanne's scared, so.
Thanks, bud.
Okay, 2 more.
Can I give it to myself?
Of course.
Okay, me. There's only 4 people in our group.
Moira's rolling first, next, so just honestly, either of them's fine.
Moira, just because she rolled doo-doo garbage last time.
It's
Fair
true. I gotta knock on wood.
I don't want to jinx you. I'm just hoping that you don't roll bad.
Oh, God.
So, in case you do, here you go.
Okay, you know what? I appreciate that.
Alrighty, Xander, you begin to cast your spells.
Never
Ooh,
mind.
very nice. Good. All right, so you're basically
Nice.
forming a mental shield, Moira, right?
Yes.
You're trying to see this thing and prepare the mind ahead of time for the horrors before they strike you. So you got 2
To be
juice.
honest, I think Xander trying to help me out preemptively is what helped me roll well. So
Definitely
Because
part
I
of it.
really have been going due to garbage.
So the nice thing is you have 2 juice, but you rolled a 13, meaning one of them can be create a story tag. The other one can be scale up the effect to affect an area, which would be everyone.
Yeah, I would absolutely would do that.
I'll call this one M shield for like mental shield.
Bless.
These are temporary. They only work once. Roxanne or Radiah, would either of you like to assist as well?
Sure.
Alrighty, want to brew a potion to help
Yep.
everybody? All right, go for it. Excellent. You can do literally the exact same thing as you rolled a 12.
Okay.
Rather than giving this to everyone, I'm going to give it to just Radiah. I'm just going to call it Super Potion. And when you guys roll, y'all can just click her. And Roxanne, do you want to do anything?
I would like to give everyone the feeling of companionship.
Alrighty, you can give this to 2 people. Who's it going to? Radiah
Choose who's your best friend.
Radiah could use one more.
Please don't make me do that. I'm gonna do Radiah and Xander.
You son of a bitch.
Like I
This
said,
feels personal.
but please don't make me do that.
All right, so you're summoning a shadow
You
friend?
forced her hand.
Yeah, you're right. I had that coming.
All right, we won't need to give any tags to B or George. We'll say that they are just part of this role effectively. And after you let them know, hey, there's some bad shit up here, B nods and she waits a moment trying to center herself, as does George. They're trying to focus up and like, all right. You know, whatever I see, whatever's going on there, it's fine. It's whatever. And your group is now able to approach. So from each of you, I will need everyone to roll face danger against a psychic attack. You're going to use the M shield, P shield, all that nonsense. S friend is shadow friend, and everybody has the super potion. That tag is on Radiah. So whatever tags you have that would help you with this, use them along with the one on Radiah. Make sure they're not red. Make sure they are yellow. All right, so we have all our face danger rolls. Moira, you shake it off entirely. Radiah and Roxanne, same. Xander, you're mostly able to
I
shake
don't like
it
how
off.
you left me for last. Rude.
Different result, but all the same. You only take 2. It's just 3 minus 1. So you now have the shaken 2 status on you. As we are ascending, I mentioned before that feeling that is effectively saying, go away, go away, go away, only gets stronger as our group ascends. Both B and George are seemingly affected by it, just as your group is. They're attempting to fend off whatever this is. And it begins as incredibly off-putting. The more you ascend these stairs, the stronger the feeling becomes, but it's not necessarily threatening. It doesn't feel what you felt, Moira, on the first floor. It is indeed building up to it, though. And as you ascend, you receive flashes of the past, of potential futures. Fortunately, 3 of you were able to basically blink in and out of these and or see them for what they really are, not twisted by any dark magics, and move on. Xander, the same for you, except some of these images are going to linger for longer than you would like, to the point where, yes, your body is ascending the stairs, but for whatever reason, your like mind is teleported somewhere else temporarily, and you get a strange sense of just like, oh god, I'm gonna fall over, because you're walking forward, but you're walking up, and your inner ear is not agreeing with what your eyes are saying, and it's all gross, and it's not great. But in order, as we ascend, we see the past. We see Reginald before all this. We see him treating various folk, talking with individuals. I mentioned before he works at a family psychiatrist. We see this. We see quick flashes of his son as well. We saw this at Carroll Crossing, the bullying that he had to go through. He tried to fight back as hard as he could. He did everything he could to try to stop them. He tried telling people. Nothing worked. Unfortunately,
Like, we're seeing this in our heads, or?
Yes. Getting flashes of it. And all that's playing by relatively quickly, as we have indeed we've seen it before. Reginald did not know about this. People did not tell Reginald. It seems, as you all guessed before, once they discovered who the bully was, who he was attached to, tied to, maybe the boy Aaron was lying. Or maybe some of these teachers or people that were working at the school, folk that were told, were told they were just playing or what have you. The usual bullshit story that allows things to get swept under the rug. because no one helped Aaron. Aaron tried to help himself, and things ended up the way that they did. After that very thing happened, of course, you see Reginald initially lose it. He closes shop for a few days, a week, really, and he does his best to look into what the hell happened, because it was too sudden. It came out of nowhere. Investigators are giving him no information, people that he hired, because he's not a professional like you all are. He doesn't have the same powers that you all do. You see him waiting by the phone. You see him trying to call as many people as possible. You see him try to schedule meetings with the school, with parents, and he keeps getting no and no and no, or he does get in a conversation with them, but it's cut short for some reason, or they can only meet over the phone and conveniently have to go. This does not work for him, of course. But after some time, he decides, mentally, maybe I need to recenter myself and then discover precisely what happened. Clearly, this isn't working. I'm approaching it from the wrong angle. So he tries to bury himself back in his work, although part of him still spirals into looking into this. Eventually, one of his clients, Philip Bradley, shows up after he was closed for some time. During their conversation, this individual, Philip, begins to complain. Work is hard enough as it is. My son, Spencer, has been whining and complaining to me. Apparently he was playing at the train with some kid and some stupid accident happened. Kids should just be more careful. It's none of my business. I don't see why he's bothering me with it. What do I do about my son? What do I tell him to get him off my back, basically? Do I just tell him to suck it up? What's the appropriate thing? Reginald, hearing this, begins to connect the dots and such, hearing various names, people that were associated with his son. He mentions Carrow Crossing. And in this moment, something in Reginald breaks. He knows that Philip is behind the cover-up, or part of it at least. His son led to the death of Aaron. He answers his question, not knowing what he said in this moment, honestly. It might have been rude. It might have just been your generic boilerplate answer. Regardless, he sends Philip away. He closes shop. And this time he closes it for good, as Reginald does not come back to his psychiatrist's office. And now, he's here. After finding something called to him. His break led him clearly to an answer he thinks will be fulfilled tonight. And as your group ascends, this feeling dissipates for a moment. Right before you enter the 5th floor, though, that feeling, Moira, burns in the back of your mind. Each of you feel it, Roxanne, Radiah, and Xander. But Moira, you know what it is, as you were just face to face with it a second ago. Xander, when you feel this, your amulet begins to burn against your chest. You are also very familiar with this entity, this feeling. And your group ascends to the 5th floor, in which you do indeed see Reginald waiting at a desk, speaking with Isabel. Suddenly the sound turns on, like click. Someone just turned on a television. Your footprints ring out, and the two of them turn around to look at you.
Okay. Now what?
For some odd reason, it didn't click that Aaron's dad was a psychiatrist.
Really? We had a whole thing about this.
Yeah, no, it didn't click. Can you imagine that? Psychiatrist's dad didn't notice his son was being bullied.
Okay, well, first of all, kids are pretty good at hiding things.
So you think this, Roxanne, and you know...
No, I say it out loud, damn it.
You say it out loud. Fair enough. Without needing to receive an answer, you feel that exact feeling as if it were coming from yourself, a residue from the stair set, if you will. You know for a fact that Reginald felt this exact same thing. Why the hell didn't I see this? What's wrong with me? I'm a failure as a father. You feel all these things all at once.
Is this something I can use?
Potentially. You're not sure. You can see that he's smiling as you all ascend. He does not stand, though, as he is sitting at his desk, but he does call out to you all. Welcome. Was not expecting to see you tonight.
You're a hard guy to track down.
By design. Quite inquisitive your group is, and you've brought friends, I see.
What?
B and George wave.
George, yeah.
Oh, yeah. They got a bone to pick with you.
A big bone.
I'm quite sorry to hear that. What exactly is all your goal? Together you are unified in this bone?
Mostly?
Well, you're finally here. At the end of your little journey, what will you do?
Ask you to stop.
Just going to ask nicely.
Yeah, I figured I'd start with that.
Fair enough. And why, pray tell, Roxanne, should I stop when I am so close to my goal?
Because your goal is going to affect a lot more people than just your targets.
It would have, yes. Before I met Gale. Fortunately, he set things right for me. I do owe quite a lot to that man.
I'm afraid I don't understand.
You truly want me to cease this, whatever you think it is I'm doing, Roxanne and crew. But you see, if things go the way I want them to, you won't remember any of this happening, and anyone that was wronged, theoretically at least, should be righted. Everything will be precisely the way it needs to be. You just need to step aside and trust the process.
No, I'm going to need you to explain, please. If this is for the benefit of everyone, surely you can explain this.
I will be honest. It is not for the benefit of everyone. It is purely for my own benefit. If I help people along the way, that is fine. Isabel will indeed stand to gain something, eventually, when she decides what she'd like to do with her life. Things have, of course, gotten complicated for her. She's at that age, as are, well, most of you, it looks like. But it is quite simple, Roxanne. Mr. Gale Highland, what was his little special ability?
Rewinding time?
Correct. I'm sure it does not get past you that I looked into quite possibly every little thing to bring back my son. Law enforcement wouldn't help me. My family wouldn't help. Politicians and such wouldn't help. Colleagues, no one would reach out and assist me. They wouldn't even look into it. And if they did, they barely even scratched the surface, completely wasting my time. I waited on bated breath for I cannot tell you how long, to hear and receive nothing from multiple people. Let's say I got desperate. Can you bring back the dead? Is this a folly? Is it happenstance and silly jargon, magics, etc., etc.? Maybe, possibly. I never reached the end of that question. But in my reveries, in my questioning, something reached out to me to help. I found a particular item, and he touches his chest through his suit, and you can see a light glowing from under his shirt. Something called out to me, and I called back.
It's not round like Iron Man's heart, is it?
Roundish, yeah. I called back to it. If I cannot bring my son back from the dead, I will simply rewind to a time when he was still alive, and I will go forth from there. Before all this happened.
And then what?
And then I will live my life with my son. We'll probably move, adjust things. I'm sure you're aware of how Gale's power worked. It was, a bit touchy. And he whips his hand out, and suddenly a spectral knife of a bright teal color arrives in his hand. It looks exactly like Gale's. You know it is not Gale's, but it looks incredibly similar. He flips the knife a few times, swishes his hand in the air, and it disappears. Light extinguished. Those that wronged me and my family will stay dead, of course. I cannot rewind all time. But those that were harmed, I've been keeping track. And he taps at a notebook on his desk. He looks back to Isabel and smiles at her, then looks back to your group and says, if things go precisely the way I believe they will, I can rewind things locally for each of these individuals. Anyone hurt or harmed shall be amended. Those that betrayed me, well, they got what they deserved. And things will stay the same way for them. Is that so wrong?
I'm actually kind of interested.
Yeah, I was gonna say
What are the negatives?
compelling. I'm interested.
What are the negatives?
Negatives? What do you mean?
Whiplash. You're messing with time. That's not going to function as neatly as you wanted to.
Quite
History
true.
and fate finds a way to still repeat itself.
He points at
Are you
Uriah.
sure you would not have any? Your son will still not find the problems with new friends wherever you try to move to, and fate will happen again.
If that is the case, then I will find fate, and I will slit its throat. For that is too...
Edgy.
I do not want to believe that is the way of things. If we're not in control of our own fates, then what's the point? Why bother? I'd like to believe that it's not going to repeat itself. If someone told you, Roxanne, that your little brother was fated to die, would you allow it to happen, or would you fight back?
I would fight back, but only until he's faces that unfortunate predicament.
And what if you could bring things back and try again? Would you not? Given the chance?
Yeah, see, my power works differently from yours, so I have a different viewpoint on that.
When you say this, you can see him, he shakes a little, and very quickly summons the knife and stabs it into the desk, and you can see it shake. And his hair comes undone slightly as he pulls it back. And he breathes out, saying, "But if you had the ability to, Roxanne, you would not give up on your family, correct?"
Gale did.
Did he?
Yeah, he did.
I don't believe Gale gave up. I believe Gale did something incredibly brave. It is entirely different. His love is still in this world. He is going to spend every second he can with that man. That is quite honorable.
But he's given up trying to find an alternate route. He's accepted the reality as is.
This is quite true. But I believe it is different. In his circumstance, from what I have seen, unfortunately, at least if things go the way of fate, his lover will die. This is quite true. Every moment that Gale spent attempting to rewind time over and over and over only made him older. What would eventually happen? Imagine the tragedy of Gale being at death's door, just minutes away, then looking to Eric and thinking, if only I spent more time with you, rather than chasing this city dream. Instead, they will spend time together. My son is gone, though. He was taken from me. I don't have the option to spend more time with him. I'm simply going to turn back the clock to ensure that an injustice does not occur again.
I'm going to look at Moira. Is it time? I'm going to say it with my eyes, by the way. So give me a wink or something.
I actually hate this because, I can totally see where he's coming from.
I can too, but I don't believe it'll work.
I don't think it'll work, but, I get it 110%.
Hey, I loved my big brother. I get it.
I'll nod at you. Or I'll give you, a hand sign or something.
All right.
This is actually making me feel kind of bad.
The DM's favorite kind of gray villain. I'm not going to do or say anything, but I want to summon my trump card behind Daddy Dear.
Okay. And this is with the intent to make him stand down?
Yeah, and I want this kid to, I guess, speak for himself from what I've gathered from his leftover memories.
It'll be really inconvenient if his memory is do it, Dad.
Yeah.
A little.
Do it, Dad. Bring me back. Anyway.
Honestly, I'm kind of expecting him to be pissed off. You didn't pay attention to me, but let's hope I got something other than that.
So from what you saw, he intentionally hid it from his father. He didn't want him to see this, nor did he think it would eventually get this bad. He thought these jerks would just go away. So you felt no maliciousness coming from Aaron.
All right, then he's perfect.
So go ahead and roll me. Convince with any of your tags that would help you convince, and the Aaron tag.
Wow, one of my improvements involved convince, and I'm not going to convince, so I didn't grab it.
Now, while you're thinking of rolling this, Roxanne, anyone's allowed to help, and they can add a +1, of course. If they also roll change the game, throwing a little something in.
I can try.
Okay.
Try boosting the manifestation.
Oh, to make the Aaron shadow more clear?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you can definitely do that. Would anyone else like to help Roxanne on the word front? Redaya, you said something. If you want to roll, you very much can to assist Roxanne.
Let me try to dig around my potion box for something to calm the nerves and give Claire a clear mind.
Never mind.
Change game?
Change game, correct.
Yes, okay.
MC hard move. He sees what I'm doing.
Alrighty, Roxanne, go ahead and roll convince. You'll get a +1 from Redaya, and Moira, I will resolve that 6 in a moment.
Yeah, no worries.
All right. Can I do surprise from behind because he's like suddenly popping into existence.
For how weird that is, sure. I will also say specifically to Xander, when his facade slipped for a moment, the light under his shirt glowed a little bit brighter, and you felt the presence again. And as you did, your amulet also glowed. You don't think Reginald noticed, as he's focused almost exclusively on Roxanne.
All right, can I also use obsession because it took some obsession to make the shadow?
Sure.
And I think that's it.
You said my amulet glowed?
Yep, you can feel it heating up.
Do I know what this is from?
It is most definitely from something emanating from Reginald. Like I said, when his visage like faded for a moment and he got angry, as that happened, his chest glowed. Something under his shirt, and then it subsided after.
His chest glowed?
Correct. It did once before when he touched it, and just did now.
Who's next to me?
You guys tell me how you're standing.
Well, I have to be standing within Roxanne's eye line.
Yeah, Redaya and Moira would basically be like right next to Roxanne or close to her.
I guess I'll be next to Moira, but I'll nudge Moira and I'll be like, I think he has the other eye of Azar.
What? For real?
My necklace glowed when I saw something under his shirt glowed, and my dad told me that the other one was stolen.
All right, you rolled a 14, Roxanne.
You didn't need my help. Dang.
Won't hurt to have it.
I mean, there is no help because I failed.
I mean, it's the thought that counts.
For you? Not for me.
So, Roxanne, as you say this, and you summon Aaron, you can tell he's going to continue his thought process as Isabel gasps and takes a step backwards. When she does, Reginald turns as if to say, "What?" And he comes face to face with his son, completely stunned. All the anger seemingly just flows out of him all at once. He deflates.
My heart. Still yourself, Roxanne.
And with a shaky hand, he reaches up to touch his son's cheek. And he says, Aaron, my boy, is that really you? Aaron opens his mouth to speak, and while you cannot hear what he says, Reginald seemingly can. But you can see him fading while this is happening. He stands as the shadow begins to fade, and he's looking down at it like, what? No, but... And he touches his chest again as he turns to look at you, Roxanne. Not angry, confused. And he says, was that you?
Solemn nod.
Why did you do that?
Anyway, you've forgotten.
He breathes out and shakes his head. Says, no, I've most assuredly not forgotten, but...
Our loved ones don't want us to do these drastic things.
You may be right, but I know that wasn't Aaron.
It was a part of him.
Indeed. And when he looks to you, Roxanne, you can see truth in his eyes. Thank you for letting me see my son again. He's everything to me. I feel as if I failed. How could I have let that happen? Why didn't I look closer? What is... And he grasps at his chest a bit, and you can see it glowing more, and as it does, the room heats up, and Xander, you can feel yours also begin to glow, and it does not stop. And he sort of grabs at his shirt, and Isabel puts a hand out and says, Sarah, you all right? And he kind of slaps her hand away and says, Argh. As he does this, you can keep a very clear eye on what he's doing, Xander. You can tell he's not trying to do anything with it. He's grasping as if he's trying to catch his breath. And he does stand, and with his right hand, he's grabbing his shirt. With his left, he's balancing himself on the table in front of him. And then he looks to you, Roxanne, and says, my son said I was lied to. Not by you, but by... And he looks down at his chest.
Yeah, that glowy thing around your neck?
It's the only reason I was able to get here.
You should talk to Xander about that. That's bad juju.
Yeah, you shouldn't have that, Reginald. You don't know what you're doing with it.
Don't be cryptic, Xander.
What is it then, pray tell?
Well, if you, if you want to continue to use it, you could pretty much release an evil demon that is going to pretty much destroy this whole city and probably more.
What? It's merely an amulet. What are you talking about? And he unbuttons his shirt and he shows it to you.
Yes, like this amulet, and I pull my amulet out.
Precisely, as he points to yours, then points to his, which is 100% not an amulet. In Reginald's chest, you can see an eye the size of a very large grapefruit wedged into his flesh. And there are these black and red veins leaking off of it, sinking into his skin.
Reginald, that's not an amulet. Amulets don't weld themselves to your body.
I can't remember if I wrote it down anywhere. What was the beast called? Or is it just Azar?
You literally have Azar's eye, so yeah.
See, yeah, I have the amulet of Azar, right? The eye of Azar. You have his eye, but you know, that's the bad version of what. Yeah, so you should not have that. Was what I'm trying to say. It's gonna cause bad things to happen.
As you say this, he looks at you very confused, and Isabel actually takes a step back and looking at him, she says, "Sir, that's not an amulet." He says, "What the hell are you talking about?" And he further unbuttons his shirt and like pulls it back and like points at it. What do you possibly see?
What did you get? Where did you get that from?
I found it in the mountains somewhere. Honestly, I don't remember. In my drunken reverie to find answers, this thing called to me, and I answered the call.
You literally have a demon's eye around your neck, sir.
He looks at you as if to say, "What the hell are you talking about?"
I'm an Azarian sorcerer. I'm the only one that is supposed to have the Eye of Azar. You have technically the other one, but that one's supposed to stay hidden because if they ever come together, Homeboy is gonna appear and get to destroying.
And with that, he looks down at it again as to say, like, "I was lied to? What?" And now that he's looking, you guys see him basically palming at the air, just grabbing at nothing, trying to show you guys nothing. But for a moment, maybe the curtain pulls away, and he sees this eye that has wedged itself into his body, and he retracts in fear at what's become of his flesh, just looking down at it. He gasps and he goes to scratch at it just by instinct, causing no harm at all to it. And he looks at his hand, looks at you all, and while this is happening, you can sort of see it gyrate and writhe in his chest.
Yeah, this is not good, guys. We really need to get that off of him.
Open to suggestions?
And Mr. Magician of Azar, how do you suggest we do that?
Out of game, just to be clear, from what I remember you telling me, you said my amulet should not touch his amulet, right?
So, there's a few things you know to quickly remind you. Basically, there are two ways to deal with this thing. Either you attempt to seal it away again, which is going to be very difficult, but doable, or you sacrifice your amulet to permanently destroy the other Eye of Azar so that Azar himself cannot come to this realm, like the actual Azar, not come to this realm, and eventually bring back both his eyes, thereby resurrecting himself. As long as they both exist...
that one.
Yes, as long as they both exist, there's always a chance for him to come back, and you cannot destroy one. It's physically impossible.
You said we cannot destroy one?
Correct. If you destroy one, you must destroy both.
Okay, so that's off the table. You said the other version is what?
The other is you seal him away, and eventually one of your children will have to deal with him, or one of your grandchildren.
So pretty much we got to seal that amulet. We'll obviously get it off of him, but we got to seal it away. However you guys want to go about doing that. Well, I mean, getting it off him at least.
Any ideas?
As you're thinking about this, the remnants of memory that were Aaron seemingly have faded away. And the hard move, Moira, is the shadows around Reginald begin to twist and contort. The iris and the pupil on the eye suddenly begin to move as if they are alive. You can hear it kind of squelching within his chest. He goes to move to swat at it again, and you see him suddenly surround himself in this like teal light, almost like a fire. He's pulling from something, and he goes to like strike at it, but for whatever reason he is repelled off himself. An incredibly strange image to see, but as he is, you see that pupil fully dilate almost to the entire, I guess, revealed surface area of this eye. And a hand is now protruding just past the wrist, and it begins pushing its way out.
Hold up. This creature is using Reginald as like a portal to come here?
It feels like it.
I assume that would be deadly to Reginald, right?
Yes. So looking at this, you can tell that as the eye begins to sort of stretch and squelch and writhe around him, it's attempting to dislocate itself from his chest. The tentacles are receding from under his skin. You can see it's causing Reginald immense pain as he cries out, trying to find out how to get this thing off him. But while it's happening, something else is also harming him. Whenever this something is removed from his chest, you're not sure if Reginald will be there to see it at the end. So he's trying to get it off.
Can I have some shadows help?
Very much so, yes. Go ahead and roll me go toe-to-toe. What we're going to try to do is we're going to try to basically start a status that is a removal of the eye. So whatever tags you can use to get this thing off him, non-fatally, go for it.
Oh dear, oh dear.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what tags would work with this. I'm going to have Jasper focus on helping. Can I use aware of every tiny movement around me as applied to Jasper actively watching this thing as he helps remove it so that he's doing it as carefully as possible? Does that make sense?
Yes. Alrighty, and while Roxanne is doing this, if the three of you, Moira, Radiah, and Xander, want to add to the removal of this eye, I'll go ahead and throw a tier on him. We'll just call it removed. Or removing. Alright, I'll add removing 2 to Reginald as your shadows move in and begin to pry it off of him, or at least attempt to. They try to get these tendrils out of Reginald and or sever them before the eye can officially rip them off. And while this is happening, Roxanne, the hand further and the room heats up further and further. It's now up to the elbow as it's writhing about. It looks completely black as this oil-like substance is dripping onto the floor, and you can just barely in the distance hear a laughter echoing directly from the center of Reginald.
Can I try to shoot like a magical chain around the amulet to try to pull it off?
Yes.
Give me your amulet!
Excellent. All right, that'll jump it up to removing 3, and I will let you know that 4 will entirely take it off. And as this happens, you're able to whip some chains onto this heart, effectively, that's in the center of Reginald's chest. And you begin pulling on it. He screams out in pain as he grabs onto the desk. You're pulling him towards him, and he's trying to kind of pull away. But he sees that you're attempting to help. The look that he's giving this thing is as if to say, how dare you lie to me? How dare you betray me? And it almost looks like the expressions he's giving this thing, like he's having a conversation with it in some way. His face is moving and his lips are moving, but no sounds are actually coming out. The laughter gets louder as the arm is now all the way to the shoulder, and black tendrils begin to shoot out and whip onto various things around Reginald, using them as a counterweight, effectively, to pull even harder. The laughing gets louder as Isabel kind of kicks into gear, and she starts severing these things instantly and says, "Sorry if this hurts, boss, but we gotta get this shit done." And Moira and Radiah, what are you two doing?
Oof.
I'm casting a spell to send little vines to help pull it out.
All right, go for it.
I think I only have one button for this.
Good enough.
Yep.
All right, that'll add 1 pip, so it's not going to get us there, but it will indeed get us close as your vines shoot up Radiah to join Xander's chains. They begin writhing and pulling and pulling and pulling, but some of these black tendrils writhe along your vines and quickly shoot towards you with a malevolent heat. Radiah, go ahead and roll me to face danger against these things as they go out to strike you.
They heat, so fire resistance. Mm-hmm.
Excellent. All right, you're able to block all the damage, Radiah, with both your fire resistance and stone skin. You twist in just a way that they bounce off the cowl you're wearing, causing you no harm and no foul of your beautiful, beautiful clothing. Moira, what do? You see this thing is ready to pop.
Ready to pop. Is there really anything I can do?
Yeah, All we're doing is physically pulling this thing off him.
Well, I am a black belt, which means I have very strong hands.
Ew, you're gonna touch it?
Why not?
Nasty.
I have hand sanitizer. It's
Just
fine.
Go in there and grab it.
Sure. I got nothing, dude.
I mean, with whatever, you can always make a tag with broad training.
Broad training, ice fishing.
Sure. I mean, you got strong grippers. You got the hands, the fingers of steel. You can get in there and pull.
Strong gripper. But it's my toes.
I mean, however you want to pull it out.
You know what? Can my broad training be gloves? Because I actually don't want to touch this barehanded.
That is perfectly fine.
All right. Ew.
While you're moving in to do this, both George and B are doing their best to sever any of this nonsense coming out.
Is this go toe to toe?
Yep, every roll is going to be go toe to toe.
Can I just emphasize that Jasper is focusing on not hurting Reginald while he's like the detailed tugs?
Alrighty, so you were to roll a 9.
Why did I roll face danger? I swear I was going for go toe to toe.
Which tags were you going to use? You were going to use your broad training one, right?
Yes.
And what else?
Perhaps gut feeling.
And also gut feeling. Okay. Alrighty. So that should bring you up to an 11 with a +2, which is full effect. So we're good there. That'll also give you 2 status, which will bring his 3 up to a 4, exactly where we need to be and exactly when we need to be there. As you leap on in Moira, we have vines, we have chains, we have shadow people that are trying to get this thing off of Reginald. Isabel's trying to burn like the skin around the area so he doesn't bleed out. And you're not really sure what Reginald is doing, but he's allowing this magic to flow through him, this teal light and fire. And it's stopping it a little, but you can tell that without your guys' help, this would have 100% been fatal. As you move in to rip this thing off Moira, an entire arm is sticking out of it. And as you get a firm grip and begin to pull and tear, you rip outward, and as you do, a wing shoots out. Fortunately, you use your instincts to dodge out of the way quickly, and it begins to flap, this laughter echoing further and getting louder and louder. Now that you have a front seat, Moira, it sounds incredibly malicious and familiar. You're able to remove this thing, and each of the tendrils that were inside of Reginald snap, 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 as they all come loose from his skin. He gasps loudly and falls to his knees, bleeding but not fatally, and there is a notable hole in his chest.
We gotta hand this over to Xander, right?
Potentially, but as you kind of pull it, and it also kind of jumps out of your hand, in a way. You've removed it, but the whips and tendrils effectively leap away from you, and it begins to roll across the room. You can hear it cracking like an egg.
Well, this is very, is it Nidhogg?
That is his name, correct? It's about that size, too, if it helps for
I'm so proud of you.
I made a little Final Fantasy 14 joke.
Just don't throw it off a bridge and, oh no, how did someone find it?
The Abyss. Oh no.
That made me so mad. I'm like, no!
That was really stupid. Just narratively choice speaking, terrible.
Yeah. All the same.
Can I jump on it so it doesn't roll too far away?
Sure, you're gonna jump on it with the intent to what?
To hold it down so it can't go anywhere.
Squish like a grape.
Alrighty.
Okay, well, I don't know if I want to squish it like a... Wait, I mean, I don't know that they can't be destroyed, but I'm not going to try and squish it.
I do not like that mental image. Thank you.
Fortunately, you cannot squish this grape. So yes, you may, Moira, if you wish, leap out towards it to grab it. That'll be going toe-to-toe. As it is continuing to crack, the fingers of the other hand are pushing their way out, and you can feel heat bursting forth from this thing. It is getting quite violent, one might say. I'm going to apply one tag to it that's just Eye of Zar. I'm not going to make the tag. I'll just apply it after your roll. Yes.
Okay, can I use Massive Wingspan as like a larger area?
To hold it down?
Yeah.
E. Very nice.
Honestly,
Alrighty.
that's not bad.
It's not bad at all. With that, we have a 10. So you would choose the first option, which is to achieve your goal, and most likely the bottom option to not get counterattacked.
Yeah.
All right, excellent. You do just that, Moray. You fly towards this thing and you kind of pin it down. You have it right where you want it, but you realize it is hatching at an alarming rate. It may not be moving. You have it cornered and pinned effectively, but it is pouring out quickly. The other arm is almost completely out, and you swear you can see the shadows of a face as two burning eyes look directly at you from within the eye.
Can I look away?
You very much can, and this will avoid whatever it was trying to...
I want to cover the eye. I don't want to stare the eye in the eye, you know?
That is most assuredly a bad idea. It is stared down. Consider it stared down. You have it locked down, but it's still hatching. What do y'all do?
So how do we seal it?
Can I do a sealing spell?
Effectively, yes. You would need to go toe-to-toe with it, with whatever sealing magics you would have, attempting to put it away. You know this will, of course, be difficult, and it will take some time, but regardless of the outcome of what the eye decides to do after this, you know that any sealing magics you apply to it will indeed stick, if that is indeed your intent. It is writhing and wriggling very angrily next
Goodness
to...
gracious, that was almost horrible.
So we wouldn't use... we wouldn't use energy-based constructs. Fortunately, we don't need them. But you would indeed use those 3. Oh, actually, you do have that debuff, Shaken, which would definitely apply here.
Well, then never mind.
So unfortunately, that is indeed a 5. As this thing begins to wiggle and writhe Xander, you can tell you're on the right path. You recall you've done this before with your father. You know how to seal away demons and paranormal things and entities and things of that nature. This is the same idea, just scaled up, we'll say quite a bit, just a little. But something goes wrong. Moira, you need to move ever so slightly so Xander can get a hold of it, of course. But as this is happening, it begins to shake. The heat that begins blasting off this thing, Moira, is far, far, far too much for you. You know if you continue to hold onto it at this distance, you will be severely burned.
Yeah, I'll have to let go.
And as you do, almost in one motion, the eye splits.
No.
Yes?
Can I shadow cocoon it? Like a containment shadow cell?
You may, but it's only going to be temporary, as I do have to do the hard move.
Oh, all right.
So you won't be taking any damage from this, Xander. And if you want to load that up, Roxanne, you are more than welcome to do so. But as Reginald is breathing heavily, watching you all, still a look of anger on his face, as if something lied to him. Isabel is standing and ready, having already helped Reginald. As his eye splits, you can all hear it crack, and it echoes in the room as it wetly splits open. Both arms push their way free, and you can hear this cackling echo throughout the room. As I said, Moira, a blast of heat emanates from this thing the second it cracks open, completely turning everything within a 5-ish foot radius to dust. The ground itself is burned. And standing before you all is a demon of currently fairly formidable size, relatively... What?
I'll just screaming.
Oh, relatively close to Isabel, except for one primary difference. As I mentioned to you, Moira, when you asked about the eyes, there is still humanity behind Isabel's eyes. This thing only has
Pure demon.
Malicious intent as it looks from each of you. It has stupid shit-eating grin on its face. It looks ecstatic. Besides matching Isabel's size, it grows ever so slightly every second. It looks the same size of her, but you blink and, is he slightly larger? He's getting closer to the ceiling. That's definitely troublesome. And before you stands the demon Azar, or at least an avatar of Azar.
So yeah, that's what we were trying to avoid summoning.
He stretches and laughs again, just, oh, thank you.
You know, if you were serious about stopping this, you would have destroyed the damn amulet. Not calling out name.
It's okay. My grandfather before him, we've all sealed him before. It's no big deal.
But he keeps getting out. That is a big deal.
Listen, the only reason he got out this time is because Reginald had a... I'm a big sad old guy and I went into a cave and I had a midlife crisis and I had to steal something that didn't belong to me. So it's not my fault, okay? Just because my dad didn't hide it in the best area, it's not... I'll do a better job this time. We just had to defeat evil demon guy.
All right. When I die, I am making sure that some of my shadows stay behind to haunt your family forever. Do you understand me?
Don't worry, Roxanne, you won't die. You can still be a vigilante after this.
As you say all this, Azar laughs loudly and says, "Oh, the Lancasters are just as selfish and self-absorbed as I remember. Glad you haven't changed."
And we're still going to kick your ass just as like other previous times, so, you haven't changed of losing.
Sure thing, little one. Well, I'm glad you've set everything up for me, Mr. Albright. Greatly appreciated, but I need to go now.
Can I punch him in the face with the magical fist?
You most assuredly can. As you're getting ready for this, he is continuing to stretch and to grow, getting closer and closer to the ceiling.
Can I do my net first?
Yes, you very much can. First, though, to mimic the same thing that Isabel had, Azar is going to be a very, very tricky foe. Before you do literally anything within Azar's presence, you need to roll against this. A wave of dread will attempt to overwhelm anyone interacting with Azar. Very similar to Isabel's fire lashing out, except his is going to be more potent. Hers was a 3, his is going to be a 4. So when you roll, first, Roxanne, you must defend against that. And then you can roll for your shield.
Like as in face danger?
Yep, so all of you need to face danger against that first before you do anything against him. Just being in the presence of him is overwhelming. Interacting with him will make, remember that feeling you got when you walked up the stairs? Basically that on steroids.
Am I able to use Strong Against Supernatural and Magic Shield on that?
To defend against it, yes. It's essentially another mental attack. And also, you know that this is going to be interacting with you first, so of course you don't have to roll. You can get help first. And as you're prepping that, Xander, you can see both George and B have the exact same idea. As they are getting ready, I will also prepare things for them.
Do you want me to roll while I wait or no?
Go ahead and wait for her, primarily because... Nice. Primarily because she might actually help you. All right, so I'm giving tags to both George and B. B has Master Swordsman and Sen Bonzakura. George has Tikyuan, which I probably pronounced that wrong, but that's basically his martial art. It's an off branch of Taekwondo, I believe.
What is it?
Taekyon? It's in chat.
Yeah. It's related. Well, it's actually not part of Taekwondo, but it is related to it.
Okay. That's what the note said. And also White Paw. So you guys can indeed use their tags to assist you with various things. But when you do, you're also incorporating the character. So Roxanne, you're able to steal your mind. And as you're beginning to form this shadow shell to hold him still, he looks to you. And all the rage and fear begins to spear towards your mind. Fortunately, you steel yourself for a moment. And you are unaffected. Throw your bubble at him.
Yeah, I'm trying to contain him to slow him down so that Xander can try his thing again. And then I need to roll negatives?
You don't have any negatives, I don't believe. Alrighty, we got some juice. I'll create a story tag, temporary, surrounded in shadow, which you may use Xander to punch him, but same would apply for you. You'll also need to defend against the psychic attack prior to punching him.
Can I give a reduce a status to assist with that?
Yes, you can reduce shaken by 1. If it's shaken 2,
done.
Can go to a shaken 1.
And then now I roll, or?
First roll to defend, then roll to attack.
Thank goodness for a 5.
All right, I will add this to the shaken. All right, so when you attack, unfortunately, you're going to have to use that negative, shaken 3. If you want George and B to assist you, you can definitely use their tags.
I'm gonna punch you in the face, and you're not going to like it. Suck a butt.
Very nice.
I like my fist to your face technique, mate. Blah!
Alrighty, so you're going to be doing damage and then block. All right, excellent. When you move in to do just that, you fly towards him, Xander, to strike him, and I shall indeed reveal his other custom move. Very similar to the enforcers we ran into in the very beginning. Nearly impenetrable. Any type of emotional status is reduced by 3, which would be fearing him, things of that nature, Moira. Everything else is reduced by 1. As you fly towards him, Xander, to strike, he catches this magical fist, shattering it. You take no damage as suddenly a sword is formed in one of his hands and he slashes out, attempting just to cut you in half, but you dodge at the last second. He takes no harm, but neither do you. And you can all just see him cackling away, just as that happens, he jumps upward, like ramming his head into the ceiling, which explodes. You guys can feel some temporal wave or station has been broken, and everything around you begins to warble ever so slightly. You are indeed still in this room, and you can tell that Azar is about to just jet off. He's done here. He's going to leave. So Moira, Roxanne, Vidaya, you see him doing this. What do you do?
Can I do some sort of psychic thing to slow him down?
You very much can. Basically, the only way to stop him from doing this is going to be some form of roll, go toe-to-toe, and then to the top one, which is managing to achieve your goal. Currently, your goal would be stop him from flying away.
I'll try it.
So first, you'll need to defend.
Okay.
And then you can do that. Remember, your character knows this is going to happen, so if you want any help prior to rolling, you can always request help.
Somebody help me.
If it's specifically to go against the psychic nonsense, Radaya is very good at that. So Radaya, if you would like to brew up some more of those potions that you did from earlier.
Yippers.
Roll me change the game.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Excellent. All right, we got 2 juice. We can make the tag and we can make it permanent. That is exactly what we want.
Yippers.
All right, she tosses you a potion of focused mind, Moira. You have just that. Go ahead and roll face danger against my own psychic attack. Congratulations. As you begin to approach Azar, he gives you a look as if to say, kneel before me, worm.
You know, honestly, that's fair. This is just to defend, though, right?
Yep. Every time you do anything, you must defend first and then strike.
I can use focused mind for pretty much anything.
For the most part, yeah. But once you use it to defend, you can't use it to attack, and vice versa. Depends how much you, because obviously if you get hit by a negative, that's going to impact your next attack. So if you have a negative 1 or 2, unfortunately, that's going to carry over.
God, just like a raw roll seems a little too chancy, but when has it ever done me any favors to have things added on?
I mean, you've had a couple where you barely sneaked by with 1 or 2, so...
Okay, that's fair. I'm going to use situational awareness and self-defense. Unless it's not physical.
It's not physical, correct.
Actually, you know, my instructor would say that part of self-defense is blocking before is like a mental block. So
you could use it as if you are mentally prepping yourself. That would be fine.
Yeah. I'm just trying to make it reasonable. That's all.
Basically, stealing your mind and body prior to striking. Perfect.
Nice.
With a 12, you fend off any nonsense. So the final roll of the night. Go ahead and drop me whatever you're trying to slow him down, stop him.
Yeah, I'm trying to stop him.
All right, go ahead and roll me go toe to toe. He sees you charging at him as this wave of dread surrounds you, Moira. You're able to blast through it, and now you are flying towards Azar.
How dark is it?
It's pretty dark. Fortunately, it is nighttime. We're in a dark room. It's got that mood lighting.
It does make sense.
Sort of. So you're trying to
Wait, take away massive wingspan.
Yeah, I would say wingspan would be grabbing, and we don't need that. There we go. I was like, how do those work together? Okay, still 14.
Sorry.
All good. Regardless, you rolled an 11 flat. That's already a full success. Okay, cool. That definitely will indeed track. So if you're trying to slow him down, and this is indeed a psychic attack, you don't want to use the status because that will get completely nullified. The middle one, at least. You're going to want to hold him and then block any counterattack because you know this guy's going to like a truck if he does hit you.
Yeah.
All right, so
sounds
choosing
good to me.
Those 2 options, Moira. you begin to show something to Azar that will not permanently affect him, but for a moment distorts reality around him. Maybe it summons other little Moiras and whatnot that he chuckles at, maybe not entirely knowing what your abilities are, and he begins to just whip at them with his blade, sundering every single one, laughing all the while. And for a moment, he is indeed distracted. But you can tell the very next thing he is going to do is leave the premises. So I will help clarify next week what's going on.
Why are you running?
Reminder that you can definitely use B and George. Their tags should not go away. Realistically, you guys can see that Isabel is posed against Azar as well, now that she has, for the most part, assisted Reginald. So you'll have the assistance of 3 people against Azar. He's chopping up Shadow Moiras, getting ready to leave, and we shall indeed resolve this next week.
Woo!